this is what this treatment looks like. It is beautiful. Getting the right accent of trim is really nice, but it's not always necessary. Hey everyone, Scott with Designer's Workroom. So today we're going to go over how to make a flat swag and a pair of jabos to go along with it. Now I've done a video similar to this before, but this time we are using it on rods. At least I'm going to give you the principle of it because I do have some made up. This is going to be your inner rod. This is going to be the one that's going to have your jabo ends. It's the one that's going to go right in front of this rod, which is going to have the actual swag going around. So depending on the size that you want, I've just kind of pulled this out so I can show you. We're going to measure this. And the way I like to measure it is I use some type of a string or whatever you may have in the house. And I just kind of go around it like this to get the size that we need. So from here, we're just going to go around here like that, all the way around. You can take a pin or whatever you have, mark it, come over. I just happen to have a tape measure on the side of it, and it came out to 36 inches. From there, we're going to add another 1.5 inches for sewing. That would be 37.5 inches in width. With that, we're going to make ours 14 inches in drop, and that means we need 15 inches. So I've already got this marked, but I'm going to mark it maybe so you can see it a little bit better. So here's 15 inches. Now my fabric is folded in half. So just to make it easier, so I don't have to stretch all the way over the table. And of course I have a tape measure on both sides of this. You can't see that, so it makes it a little easier. And then we're also going to make the jabot ends. So now those jabot ends are going to be 2 inches bigger. So I've already have that marked off. That gives me 32 inches. So for one swag and a pair of jabos, you're going to need just under a yard to do this. Then you're going to need your lining, which would also be just under a yard. I found this on Amazon. I had shoulder surgery, and ever since it's been a little harder to cut. I still do shaping with the regular pair of scissors, but these little guys, I'm going to leave a link to my Amazon store. It's going to have all this good stuff, sewing supplies, and this has been a lifesaver. It wasn't that expensive, but it works great. And it easily cuts through both set, and the battery life has been great too. I don't know exactly how long it is. It's a little noisy, but not that bad. All right, now my fabric's already folded in half. That makes it much easier. And again, I've cut it at 15 because my swag's going to be 14. As I had previously mentioned, it's going to be 37.5 inches. The center point here is going to be 18.75 inches over. Like so. And we're going to put a mark at 18.75. So now that I measured over, we're going to go 2 inches down on this. 2 inches straight down. That's going to allow for my pocket when we sew this whole thing. We're actually going to make an actual pocket. We're just going to leave an opening for that rod to fit through. And then from here, we're going to make a shaping. Now, what I like to use, which is again in the store, this is a lead chain weight called lead chain weight. It's usually used in a shear or something like that. And again, we've got this 15 to make it 14. So we're going to go pretty much right down to the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a shape. Something just like that. And I'm going to show you a little bit better in a second. Let me mark it. Now this is just for you guys. I've already made these. So I'm not worried about using a marker on this so you can see what this looks like. Normally I would not be using a marker. Okay, let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to turn it around so you can see my shaping. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to take my regular pair of scissors here and I'm going to cut this out. Here is my flat swag, just like that. All right, and again, I wouldn't use the actual fabric. You can, but if you make a mistake, you're going to end up having to purchase more fabric. So I'd use a piece of scrap, which this is actually my scrap fabric. Okay, now let's get to the jabot ends right here. Now remember, I have this fabric folded in half. That means I'm automatically going to make a left and a right jabot with this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it off with my table like this, and I'm going to trim off the excess where the selvage is and what have you. So I'm just going to trim that right off. I just so happen to be lucky that I have these nice tables that I can do this type of stuff with. Now, what do I need here? Okay, so I need 10 inches for the face of the jabot, and in a minute you'll see, and then I need for the return. Now, remember the jabot is going on this, so I need this little bit right here. This is what's called the return, and we're going to measure that off. This is where it gets a little tough to get exactly. I'm going to say that it's a 2-inch return. I'm going to say it's a 2 1/4 inch return, 2 1/4 plus a half. We're going to call that 3 inches. The thing is going to only be 13 plus my sewing allowance is going to be 13.5 inches is what we're going to cut this whole thing at. 13.5 inches. I'm going to use the pencil, my magic marker to cut this off here. 13.5 inches. Like so. All right, now from up here, we are going to give it 9 inches of flatness right here. So I just give it a little mark at 9 inches. Again, don't be using a magic marker on that. And this doesn't have to be, you do what you guys want, how much of a curve you want. That's going to be totally up to you. But I'm just going to give you how I would do it. And it would be something like that. In a second, I'll show you a little bit better. Let me get this out of the way. Yeah. All right, so that's what you're looking at. Now I'm going to cut it, and this is going to give me both pieces. This is the face side of it, the front of it. This is the back that you're looking at. So I am making a pair. Now, since this fabric is very close on the front or back and back of it, I'm going to put a little indication, just a little mark right here on it, and that's going to tell me that that is the back side of my fabric. So when I cut my lining, that's how I put it on my lining. All right, so there it is right here. Now, I'm going to get this out of here so you guys can get a better picture of what we've got. Here is your swag. Here is your little jabot, like this. Kind of like that. Now, of course, this one is going on. These are going on this rod, like that. And again, this one is going on this rod right here. All right, now, next step of this is to line them. Let me get a piece of lining. I'm not actually going to be doing this fully for you, but I want to show you the basics of it. This one here would kind of go like that, okay? Then you're going to pin all this in like that, cut it all out. In fact, I'm going to do it. Might as well go a little further. I'm actually going to use this guy. Quite honestly, what you should be doing is putting pins in this before you even cut this out. But I'm showing you the quick version of this. I'm going to show you one that I've made, so you'll have a little bit more faith in what I'm doing for you here. This is just so you can see what it's going to kind of look like when you're done. I am not completely out of my mind. And what you're going to do is take your rod and you're going to put this on the outside of the rod. I got to pretend this is all finished off. That's what that's going to look like on your rod. Let's give these a quick cut. This is your inner rod. Put both of these through here. This part's going to go in here. All right, so one. And then you have this one coming over. See if I can get this out here enough. So up on your wall, you would have something that looks like this, with the exception that this has got to come out like that. And this one's got, but I think you guys get the picture of what the look is going to be when it's done, kind of like that. Now let me show you before you walk away and say I'm totally crazy. Let me show you what a board mounted one looks like that we're working on right now. To have one directly into the center like that. Then it's going to get two more. So this one is going to go like that on the board. like that. And then these two were made that they meet right in the middle of this board. This one's going to go like that. And this one is going to come over like this to meet it. And then we are adding a trim to the top that's going to match it even to set the whole thing apart. So as crazy as my little demo was using staples and everything else and the rod, this is what this treatment looks like. It is beautiful. Getting the right accent of trim is really nice, but it's not always necessarily what you need to do. But in this case, we do like to put the trim on the top, and we like to put a nice border around it. You can see these returns right here, the importance of pressing the returns, even if it's a rod pocket. It's very important to do so. But it's a great look. Time-wise, it's not going to take you very much time. And the customers just love this. This is on a very deep board because it's also getting draperies, stationary panels on each side of it, also have a nice trim. Anyhow, guys, I hope you appreciate this. As crazy as my stapling and everything is together, it's just trying to show you what this is going to look like when it's done. Even in a rod pocket, it's still a beautiful treatment. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.